Hey everyone, this is Grant Neal. I'm an instructional designer in the Center for Innovative Instruction here at Trevecca Nazarene University. Today I'm going to show you how to use and create an avatar in this program called GoAnimate, and also create animation that you can use to better engage your students in a face-to-face and online course as well. Um, it'll be very straightforward and simple, but you'll really see a lot of the potential for uses. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here. This is Trevecca's tailor-made login here for GoAnimate. So once you've logged in, you'll land on the dashboard here of GoAnimate. Any video that you've created before will show up here on the dashboard, but the quickest way to get to creating is going over here to this button that says Make a Video. So we'll click there. So some of these themed animation areas that you can go into have the ability to let you create an avatar. And an avatar is basically just an animated version of you or another specific person. So some of these will let you do them, not all of them, but Comedy World is one that we use a lot here in our office. So if you wanted to create an avatar for yourself, you would just hover over the area Comedy World, and then Character Creator is a button, and you'll click there. So the custom characters area will kind of be a database for any characters that you've ever created. So if you're wanting to add a new custom character, what you would do is come up to the addition sign here and click, and it'll sort of ask you what kind of physique you're looking to create. Um, so, for our purposes, a lot of the time we just use the first one here, and it will immediately take you into an area where you can create. Now, I chose a man, but the second selection that was there on the custom character edition page is a woman. So if we were creating a man, let's say we're creating me, um, this is a good start for a body. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a short sleeve shirt on him. The color can be changed down here in the corner of the actual shirt itself. And then the stripes there are the lower level. And then if there's a custom color you want, at the very end you can click there and you've got a full palette to choose from. So on the second tab here with kind of the lower half of my character, I can select pants or shorts or what have you. So I'm just going to go ahead and select these first pair of pants. That looks fine to me. If I wanted to change the color, I could do it on that top row. The bottom row is my shoe color. So that looks good to me. We'll go to the next tab. This is kind of the head shape of your avatar. So you can select a different head shape if that would work for you. That one's good for me, so I'll leave that one there. You can change your skin color here at the bottom. And then this next tab is hair slash hats. So you can sort of scroll through those. Now, me being mostly bald, I can come down here to this. That works for me. But there's quite a few hairstyles to choose from for men and women. And again, hair color can be changed down here on this first row. If there's something on their head, that's what this lower color selection area is for. So next tab, any facial hair, if you wanted to put some on them. Go to the next one. Lip shape. Clearly some are more female than others. Again, I'm fine with this one. Next tab is ears, to choose from there. Next tab is more of the mustache, sort of around the mouth type of area. This next tab is all eyes. Again, for me, I'm okay with those eyes on my character, but you can kind of see the ones you have to choose from there. Eyebrows, again, mine I think are fine, but these are the ones you have to select from. Nose, I'm okay with that nose. but again, you've got quite a bit to choose from. Glasses or sunglasses. And then finally, there's additional hats, facial sort of things that you can put on them, like earrings or band-aids, that sort of thing. So when I'm done, which I'm done at this point, I'm going to go over here and save the character. So it tells me that the character has been created, and now I can see him in my custom characters bank. So that's how you create a custom character, and as you can see, he'll show up here in your bank of custom characters that you can then call on when you're wanting to do your animation. Now that we've created our custom character here, what we're going to do is make our two videos. And the first video is basically going to be something that you can use in your face-to-face course to have the students watch in their own time. So you could take the video once done, link it in Connect, and then tell your students, okay, when you're at home this evening or before class, basically watch this video. Then when you come back to class, we can talk about what you watched. So that's kind of the intent of this first video. So when we're going to make a video, again, you'll click make a video and you'll tell it what kind of theme you want it to have. And again, I'm partial to Comedy World. So I'm going to go to make a video in Comedy World, and it will offer to let you look at a tutorial if you'd like. I don't I'm not against viewing that, so feel free to view the tutorial if you'd like. We're going to skip it here today though. So once we're here, you can see it'll preload a scene for you. You don't have to use that. What I'm looking for in this case is an office. So pretty quick off the bat, I can see here I've got an office that I think will work, but if you can see here as I scroll down, there are a lot of pre-made scenes that you can sort of get a feel for and see what will work for what you're trying to play out. So as I said, I'm looking for an office, so I'm going to start with this office and see what I can do. The great thing about GoAnimate is whatever is preloaded into this scene, a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it is will let you remove it. So not everything that's in there has to be seen in your scene. So I like most of this in here. I may get rid of the flag because this has more of a police feel, and I'm not necessarily needing that. So I'm going to click on the flag itself over here, and as you can see, it will open up a little taskbar that will let you do several things. And I'm going to go delete asset so we can get rid of that from the scene, and it will take itself away. I also think I'm just going to go with one chair, because what I'm going to do in this scene is play out more of an ethical piece where someone is interviewing an individual who offers them secret material from their previous employer to if they give them this new job. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to make it as general office as I can. So this chair, same thing. I'm going to go ahead and click on it and remove it. This chair I'm going to move back just a little bit, and as you can see, if you click and hold, you can drag the item around the scene. So I'm going to set it right there for the time being. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get our character in here. So over here on the side where we pulled our scene from, it has multiple tabs. We've got characters, props, text, sounds, and then effects. So as you can see, we're going to go find a character in the character area. And the character we just created is the first one showing up here. We've got other ones to choose from too, of course. But I'm going to just click him, and it will automatically add him to the scene. What's nice is, again, he's movable, sizable. He may feel a little big in the space that you're working with. So if you grab up here, you can sort of resize him proportionally and make him better fit his surroundings. So I'm going to make him a little bit bigger there, and I also want him to be facing this way, the other way. So what I'm going to do is, again, in that toolbar that will show up when you have an item that's clicked on, this button right here will allow you to flip the individual. So I'm going to flip him to face the desk, and again, just sort of place him right there for the time being. One thing to note too is that when you are working in GoAnimate, each scene basically is limited to 20 seconds long. Now you can copy scenes repeatedly so that it actually, you don't see that there's, when you're watching it, you don't see that there's a break every 20 seconds. But when you're animating, it's good to keep in mind that you've got 20 seconds per scene. So what I like to mentally think when I'm animating here is that I want one thing, just one thing to happen in each scene. That way I also don't get confused about who was doing what in a particular scene. So for this very first scene that's showing down here on this timeline as well, the very first scene, what I'm going to do is have them have my character and then the interviewer, who I'll grab here in a second, sitting down already when the scene begins. So now that we've talked about that, what I want to show you is how to make the character do what you want them to do. So since I want my character to sit, I'm going to go select him first if he's not already. Over here you've got control of him, and you've got choices for his voice, any kind of effect, like if he was walking or moving across the room, and then actions as far as what his body will do. And these are preloaded actions that the program has already created. So you can see here you've got walk, talk on the phone, sit, stand, talk while standing still, running, point, laying down, dancing, on his knees, and his arms crossed. So we're going to want him to sit, and so we'll click sit, and you'll see he'll already go ahead and do that. So since I want him to sit in this chair, I'm going to move him forward, and I may actually need to move this chair back just a little bit. So I'm going to have him sit in this chair, and that looks about as good as I can get it. So so we've done that. He's already sitting, so that's good. Now I'm going to bring in the interviewer. And anytime, just so you know, anytime you select something and you're thinking, okay, I need to get onto something else, or I just want to get off of the item that I've selected, you can always come over here to the left side and click that button, and sort of see other things over here, because once you click an item, the control for it will show up here and sort of block everything that you were looking at. So you can always click that X and get rid of that. So we're going to add a lady to the interview. So I'm going to select this lady here. And again, I want her to sit too. So I'm going to go into the actions area and make her sit. And sort of get the chair right. Now, as you can see, for our interviewer, her foot is in front of the desk there, and that kind of bothers me. So I'm going to select her and make sure that she is behind the desk but still in front of the chair that she's sitting on. So again, when you select her, the toolbar will show up. You've got flip there. These are where you can kind of place people in order of what they're behind or in front of. So bring forward is a choice, but in this case we want to send her backwards. So I'm going to click that. And it may, one feature that I've noticed is sometimes it takes a couple of clicks to get them to go backwards. So that worked, and now you can see her toe is properly behind the desk here. She's also seeming a little bit big now that I've got her sitting there, so I'm going to size her down just a little bit, not a lot. Okay, so that works for me. That's good. So now that I've got them sitting in this first scene, obviously we want something to happen. So let's have my character say something about the interview. So when you're ready for your characters to speak or say something, I'm going to go over here to voice, and you've got four choices: a recording from the mic on your computer or a mic that's plugged into your computer. You can upload an audio file of someone speaking. This is the internal library here in GoAnimate of speech if you've imported anything there. And then text to speech. So for text to speech, that acts as a really good placeholder, especially if, in my case, I'm a man, and if I've got a woman in there and maybe I have in mind somebody who will record later, I can, in the meantime, type out what I want her to say, and a more robotic sounding voice will sort of be the placeholder, so you can at least get a feel for the video while you're lining up someone to do the voiceover later. So for my character, I'm going to go ahead and record the audio for my character and what I want him to say. So the first thing, real simple, that I want him to say to start the scene out is, "Thank you for the interview." So we're going to go click that button, and then we'll click here when we're ready, and it will do a countdown. So, "Thank you for the interview." And you can sort of, after you've recorded it, take a listen and see. So it got my audio. So I like that. That'll work. So when you're ready, you can click Add Voice, and it will load your voice in on the character that you have. And you can see his mouth is already moving because the program knows he's going to be speaking. So we've got that, and if we want to take a look and maybe see what that looks like, you can click on the clip here and say preview from here, and it will quickly load a preview. "Thank you for the interview." Okay, so that looked good to me, so we'll click back to editing. So that kind of gives you a chance to play through it and see how it feels. So again, I try to limit it to one action piece per scene. So that's plenty for me in that scene. What I'm going to do now is I want to obviously continue this scene, but start a new piece here on the timeline. So I'm going to go add scene over here on the right. And what you can see is in this second piece, it just copied exactly what I had in the first. So that's really nice. It makes it so you don't have to recreate everything each time you make a new scene. So now that I'm ready for the interviewer to say something, and again, I don't do a good female voice, so I'm going to go ahead and do some text to speech for the interviewer. Now, it will let you choose male or female here, and then give your language choice. And then it has different types of delivery on someone's voice. And I remember I liked the way Susan sounded previously, but you can type in any words here in this box and sort of see how it sounds to you. But I know I like Susan, so what I'm going to do is have the interviewer say, "Thank you for coming." And let's see how that sounds. We'll click Generate Voice.
"Thank you for coming."
So that works. So I'm going to go ahead and add that voice. And so you can see it's added it to this character. So we've got two scenes where I said, "Thank you for the interview," and the interviewer said, "Thank you for coming." So we've got two things laid down there. That's good. Again, since we've had an action piece in this second scene, we're going to add another one. So add scene. So for this third scene, I'm going to go ahead and have my character spill the beans and basically tell the interviewer, if you give me this position, I'll be happy to give you all the top secret information about my previous employer, who's a competitor of yours. So we'll go ahead and spill the beans here and have the story get real interesting. "If you give me this job, I'll be happy to give you all the top secret data about my previous employer, who's a competitor of yours." Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and add the voice. that made the scene fairly long. It was a longer piece of dialogue there, but it's still under 20 seconds, so no problem. Having heard that, I'm going to go ahead and clearly make, well, actually, let me make a new scene first. So I'm going to add a scene. So now that would be a pretty surprising thing to hear. So what I'm going to do is have the interviewer sort of change her face to show that she's surprised. So I've selected her. I'm going to go over to actions again. And while it's not a body action, if you come down here to expression, you've got a lot of expressions to choose from. So let's see, I'm pretty sure they have a surprised. Well, they have shocked too, but I think surprised would be better in this case. So I'm going to select that. And as you can see, her face is changing, but that looks more pleasant. So let me try shocked. Shocked might be better. Okay, so yeah, I would say that's more appropriate. So now that she's properly shocked here, what we'll want to do is maybe to enhance her shock is maybe have the frame zoomed in on her face so that it's not missed when someone's watching. So what I'll do is have this next scene, number 4, that we just did, zoomed in on her face already. So let's go ahead and do that. So if you click here anywhere on the scene that's not an individual or an object, and come over to composition and then click compose shot, it will basically give you the ability to have the camera framed in a different way. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom the camera in and then bring the camera closer in. So that way in scene 4, when she's shocked after hearing that, you'll be already in on her face to see the shock. So I'm going to want to see what that looks like. So what I'll do is, starting back on the previous scene, I'll click the previous scene and then click preview from here so I can see it play through. So let me go ahead and generate that preview. If you give me this job, I'll be happy to give you all the top secret data about my previous employer who's a competitor of yours. Perfect. So that was a good look of shock and was in on her face. There's no way a student would miss that she clearly was surprised that that was something he said. So that's good. That'll work. So in scene 5, what I'm going to do is end with text that basically says, what would you do, or would you hire this person? So I'm going to go ahead, since I don't need the camera zoomed in any longer, I'm going to take it all the way back out to full frame. And what I'm going to want to do to end it is add some text. Over here on the left, with your tabs to choose from, you'll just select text. And I like this second one here, so I'm going to click that, and as you can see, it'll add the bubble there. So we'll double click and put, would you hire this person? So what I would like to have it do is sort of fly in at the end. So I'm going to go ahead, and with this selected, I'm going to toggle movement so it lets the program know that I'm planning on moving it. So it's going to want to know, okay, where are you moving it from and where are you moving it to? So I'm going to have it come from off screen, but I'm also going to want it to get bigger. So on this endpoint, you'll basically be telling it where you want it and what size. So when you've gotten it to the endpoint in the beginning, you're going to want to tell it how quickly you want it to happen. So I don't want it to happen too quickly, so I'm going to maybe add it to 3 seconds. So let me, again, when I want to see what it looks like, I'm going to go back one scene and just hit the preview from here button. Take a look and see what it looks like. So there's our surprise. So that'll work. So that's a good way to kind of end the whole video. So if that was where I wanted to stop, which it is in this case, I'm going to want to watch the whole thing all the way through. So if you come up here to the big preview button, anytime you click that button, it will show you the entire video that you just created. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you for coming.
If you give me this job, I'll be happy to give you all the top secret data about my previous employer, who's a competitor of yours. Okay, so that's our entire video. Now, obviously, if you felt watching the whole thing, if you felt the timing was a little bit short or long or anything like that, you can actually grab the front end or the back end of a clip and make it longer or shorter. So if I felt that the first clip was a little long, I can drag it backwards and it will kind of cut off the back end, and you can again go back through and play it and see if that feels a little bit better timing wise. So again, it's a great way to make a quick little video like that then you can show your students and have them watch even outside, in this case outside of class, that they can then discuss when they get into class. So when I'm done and ready to move this to something that other people can view, I'm going to go up here to save, and we'll do workshop video, and we'll do save only. So when you go to up here on the top, your account, go to your videos, and we'll leave the page. So you can see the workshop video is saved there. There's a button here that says share, and what I like to do is you have two choices. You have the ability to have it export an MP4 video, which you can then download and kind of do what you want with, and then you also have the ability to export to a YouTube channel specifically. So in this case, we'll go ahead and export to YouTube. In this case, I'm putting it on the Connect YouTube channel, and that's going to go ahead and start exporting. And if you've ever uploaded to YouTube, you know that YouTube will basically it will send you an email letting you know when it's been completed. So while it's doing that, let me show you what it's like when it downloads as well. So I'm going to click the download button, and it will start converting the video, and basically it will let you know you can go ahead and close this window, and when it's ready to be downloaded, it will show up in your dashboard, this area. So it'll have a nice place where you can kind of collect everything, and even if you've need to go back and download a video that you've put in MP4 format, you can do that here on the dashboard. Okay, for our second video, what we'll do is do a video that basically is more of a directive kind of video that you could use in an online course to maybe tell someone how to use something, or where you want them to maybe submit something, or just give them a directive in a course online. So for this one, what I'm going to do is create a video that tells a student or our students in an online course that we want them to participate in a VoiceThread discussion. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do to create this video is make do a screenshot of where we want the students to do this work that we can then bring into GoAnimate and have the avatar sort of talk about. So to do a screenshot, one thing that I recommend is this program called Jing, which is free to download. So I'm going to go ahead and open Jing. And Jing is nice because it can just hover kind of in the background. on a Mac, it shows up here on the right hand side. On a PC, it'll hover towards the top. So it's kind of stays out of the way, but it's there if you need it. So what I'm going to do is head to Connect, because I'm going to need a background of VoiceThread to show. So I know this playground here has VoiceThread in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to want a screenshot of this to show them where the link is. So I'm going to take a screenshot here, and when you want Jing, if you come up here, this little bullseye is the capture feature. So I'm going to want most of this page for Connect. So as you can see, you can size the screen area that you want to capture. So holding down my click button, I'm going to drag this direction. It looks good. And I'm going to export, or I'm going to save it as a still image. You do have the ability to do a capture of video that's limited to 5 minutes, but photos, there's no limit obviously on how many you can do. So I'm going to capture that image, and once I do that, it's going to let me save down here whatever I want to name it. I'll just say slide 1 and then save it, and it's going to want to know where I want it. Obviously I'm going to put it in downloads. It's easy for me to get to. Okay, so the next place I could see the avatar maybe walking and talking in front of would be, so he'd probably say click on VoiceThread. We're going to click there. So this is the integrated VoiceThread. So this would be the next possible place that I would tell a directive to the student. So I'm going to do another screenshot of this. And save it. Okay, so that's slide 2. So I'm going to tell them to comment in this VoiceThread. So I'm going to click there and go into there. So I'm going to do another screenshot here. I'm going to want to point out that they can comment. So I'm going to do a screenshot of this to show that this capability is just below here, because I'm going to have him point out these features that they can either comment through text, through their phone, voice, video, or upload. Okay, so that's really all I need for as far as VoiceThread screen captures go. So now that we've got those images, let's go ahead and create our video using our avatar. So again, we're going to go to make a video. I'm going to go to Comedy World. Again, it's my personal choice. So what we're going to do is import those images. So up here, this little cloud icon is how you'll import, and then it will ask you what you want to import. So we'll browse. Okay, so I'm going to select my images, and I'm going to select them one at a time. I think it limits me to one at a time, so I'll upload this first one here. I'm going to upload it as a background. Okay, I'm going to do the same for the other 3. Okay, so once we have all those uploaded, we're going to go to our first slide and bring that in as a background. Okay, so once we have it in on the background, and we're going to want our avatar walking around in front here, we will come over to the Comedy World area again, look for our character. So we'll use this guy here. So we'll just have him starting looking at the camera, and the way we do that is when we have him selected next to expression, we'll click this eye icon, and it'll either be looking away or looking in the direction he's standing, obviously, and then looking at camera. So if we want to give a direction and say, okay, this we want the students to go comment on a voice thread. We'll start with this one here, and maybe I want him to point, which I do. You can do that with your character. So let me click there and find his action for pointing. So there's the point. And while not very specific to VoiceThread, since it's up here and he's pointing straight over, it is good for kind of getting the point across. So he can point over to the general vicinity where it is in this case. So now I just need to add audio for this first scene. And what I'll say is, when you log into Connect, look to the left side of the page for the VoiceThread link. So let me record that. When you log into Connect, look to the left side of the screen for the VoiceThread link. So I'll add that to the first scene. And I want to take a look and see just how that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and preview it. When you log into Connect, look to the left side of the screen for the VoiceThread link. Okay, so that'll work. So now I want to add the next slide, so I'll click Add Scene again, and then I'll click on Backgrounds. And since I've brought those backgrounds in, instead of the backgrounds being in Comedy World, they're going to be in my library. Brought slide 2 in twice, but that's okay. So I'll put that slide in the background, and I'm going to obviously want him to move over a little bit so he doesn't block this thing that I want them to click on. And again, his point will work because, again, we're wanting people to see this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and, for him, record me talking about click on course introduction. When you click on VoiceThread, then click on course introduction. So he'll be pointing and saying that. So I'll add scene again. And we'll bring in the next slide. I'll move him over. And since I don't need him to point this time, at this point at least, I'm going to just have him standing. And for this slide, what I'll tell him, or what I'll record, is him saying, this is where you will leave your comment. This page is where you will actually do your discussion. So I'll add that. For this final slide, to emphasize the lower portion here, what I'll do is zoom in with the camera so that they don't miss this shot. So again, clicking on the scene, I'll click on composition and bring the camera in here. And maybe what I'll do is, just to be semi-funny, I'll just have his head down here as he talks. So that'll be the framing for this final scene. So now let me add the audio, and what I'll say is the wheel at the bottom of VoiceThread will give you capabilities for many ways to leave your comment. This wheel at the bottom of the page of your VoiceThread is where you have the ability to leave a text comment, leave a message from your phone, from your microphone on your computer, leave a video, or upload a piece of media. So we'll add that. And that really should be it for this video as well, giving them a direction. And while it does take a little bit of time to create, it can be done really very quickly, as you can see. Really, all that I've cut out of this is processing time by the computer, which still wasn't much, but I didn't want you to have to watch. So now that we've got our scenes laid out, I'm going to do a preview of the whole thing by clicking preview. When you log into Connect, look to the left side of the screen for the VoiceThread link. When you click on VoiceThread, then click on Course Introduction. This page is where you'll leave your comment for the class. This wheel at the bottom of the page of your VoiceThread is where you have the ability to leave a text comment, leave a message from your phone, from your microphone on your computer, leave a video, or upload a piece of media. Okay, so that looks good. And then at that point, you would, of course, save. And then you could go to your videos and select how you wanted to either download or add to a YouTube channel that you would then be able to take the link from and add to your course. So just let us know if we can be helpful with any questions that you have, especially about capability or other uses in your course. These are just very simple ways to kind of go the extra mile and help further engage your students in ways that may be new for them. I know some of it may be new to you as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact us at connect@trevecca.edu.